Well, hi everybody. We're wrapping up our seed journey together, but we're not in a hurry to close this course because we really want, you to still feel the support of this open container and the energy of design as a shared field that we've all benefited from and continue to. Um, we're all going to talk a little bit about our biggest breakthroughs, myself and Libby and the tutors here. Um, as a way to just offer some encouragement and maybe give you a little boost if you're having a hard time getting over that finish line. So I'm going to go back to a moment like when I look back over my seedling design, my quick design, my root design. What really came strong for me to share was the moment well, Libby and I were talking about our seedling designs on a Thursday reflection. And I said, starting fresh, make the desk new and clean and orderly and attractive, because it's just getting to be a mess. And in choosing that, which felt really finite, really small, really contained, oh, this only is going to take 2 hours kind of a thing, feeling, downright a little depressed, a little discouraged. I'm like, wait, I've been doing this design web thing for a long time. And this desk thing is really feeling strange. Like it's getting worse and worse and worse day by day. Like there's more things piling up. It was like the moment I declared it a sacred space was the moment junk just started filling in. And of course, I was doing it. It wasn't like there was some little demon running in and putting junk on my desk. It was all me. But I started to feel very discouraged. I'm like, wow, what did I do? Was that a mistake? And it just wasn't feeling like it was getting traction. And, I was looking at the principles and one caught my ear that Luby was talking about. And being attentive to shifts, openings, and opportunities. And that one was, it had like a ring to it. It really felt important to me. And I put that one up and lifted it on my list. I put it up on the top of the list. Like this is, for some reason, I feel this is going to be important. And then there was the allow for the possibility, the seemingly impossible. Those two principles had a little extra life in them. They weren't just words on my list. They actually felt like they were trying to tell me something. There was an intuitive sense that they were vibrating at a higher resonance. And it was in that moment when I realized that our friend Kalen was arriving from Portland and we did not expect him. He had said he might come down, but he actually texted us to say he was on his way and sent a picture of his RV on the road with his video equipment. So we're like, oh, he's really coming. And we asked when he was going to be here, and it was just 2 days out. And then I suddenly realized with Sarah, wow, we've been waiting for 2 years to get these internet wires run. And I think Kalen would totally be able to do this. I mean, he's done it for me in 2 other houses that I've lived in. So there was also this sort of funny realization that he's kind of like the shaman for our internet wires. Like wherever I move, I should just surrender and say, okay, Kalen has to come to put my wires in, because obviously that's what synchronicity keeps causing to happen. But of course, for him to get to my desk, it was such a mess. I needed to clean it first. And, he was totally willing to help me. And so we just pulled in this shelf unit into the garage, and the two of us had in 5 minutes emptied everything out of here. And that was exactly the beginning of both that impossible to become possible and also the opportunity that emerged there. And that was a serious breakthrough, because when that happened, like even though I felt like I was so stuck, all of a sudden it was like this river of energy just started pouring through, and everything just started happening really fast. So it wasn't on my timeline, it wasn't on my calendar, it wasn't on my checklist. It really was emergent. And that was something I want to really emphasize, because sometimes, I guess in a way, I paused, in my effort to move this design forward, and in that pause invited more chaos. And I saw that as a bad thing, but it turned out to be actually a really good thing. So there was a lot of things I learned about myself as a designer in that, and I'm taking away a lesson from that. That even when we think we're stuck, maybe what's happening is there's just something waiting to jump out from behind a boulder and help us, that we can't see, that we can't predict. So Yeah, that's me, and I hope that's a helpful story for you. And I'm going to pass it to my friend Regina.
Thank you, John. For me, there were so many insights this time, and I totally enjoyed being part of this design field. Um, and the first surprise insight was that, oh my God, my office desk is in good condition. That was something I did 3 years ago when COVID started, when I came back from Ghana, when I wanted to clear up my whole house in space and sort everything out. And the only thing I managed was this corner where my desk is, my workplace. And there was some adjustment during the last years, but I kind of just did it, and I didn't do it with the design. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, I have it. That's great. And the second thing was how about high of working. I'm really working from behind, like from big things to small things. And that needs a bit of time because I'm not able to pick a small design just like this. I need to look at the big picture, zoom out, and then go down and condense it somehow. And the first little design I had was important. I will do that later, but then it felt like, it was in my garage, it's important. And I was like, yeah, okay, it makes sense. And then I realized like, oh, but I want to sort my seed box. And it's like, yeah, that's the time of the year to order the seeds. So it's good for me, I think for everybody to have, even if it's a small something which is helpful in the moment. There are so many designs which are helpful, but needs to have a connection to what do I need now, and what is what I'm curious about, and what is alive at the moment. And then I started, and yeah, also I had catalogs and cutting out pictures and so on. And then I felt sick, and but I kind of was ahead of time because I was just doing the whole practical thing within 2 days and not writing anything down. That's another thing. I seem to use the design web often as a, I don't know if it's a reflection tool, but noting down what has happened. And you, yeah, to see patterns merging up and go on working with that. I think that would be the next step when I look at all these emerging patterns and create something for me. And during the pause video, I also realized that I really need pause, which was my plan for this year, the Southwest year. Not doing nothing, but don't plan and don't have a lot of fixed things to do. And that was a big reminder for me. And also, I loved all the feedback I got from that video, and to read all the comments, and the tutorials were also really, really good. And I love to do something which helps me and helps others at the same time. That gives a lot of energy back to me. So a lot more things, but I think I shared enough for today. And I pass on to Bernie.
Hello. Thank you, Regina. This is Bernie. And what I'm really excited to share with you about this seed course is the joy that came out of implementing my design and using the things I've put in place now here, which are making such a big difference with the way I was working before. Actually, the first thing I really wanted to do is to make a design about making more order in my house, which is like a very big task because there are a lot of things that are in different places. Even then the house is quite small. There are a lot of stuff in it. And so I thought, well, that's going to take too much time. And I like to go first with a seedling design, and what could I do as a seedling design that would help me to move later on to this bigger design of sorting out my house. And I could have started with my desk as well, but instead I realized that I was pretty bothered with my computer hard drives, where actually with the time everything was organized in a way that was not very easy to access information. And then I duplicated things, and I was very confused about using the hard drive and spending a lot of time searching files. And so I decided, well, that maybe it's a great idea to design how I could better organize my files on my computer in a way that I would save time and be happy to use my computer. Because also I don't want to spend too much time in front of it, because I like to be in nature as well. And then, so I came up with this idea of structuring the files on my computer according to the permaculture flower, like building, education, culture, finance and economics, health and spiritual well-being, land and nature stewardship, land tenure and community governance, tools and technology, all these six or seven different petals of the flower. And I have started to do this. The design was more like a quick design. It didn't take so much time to do it, but I was really excited about trying the tool and see how it worked. And then finally, I start now to finish up the implementation of this design according to the permaculture flower about a week ago. And now I've been using this for 1 week. And it's amazing. It has changed my life completely. And now every time I'm there, I can very quickly access any kind of information I'm looking for. And it makes such a big difference in my life. So I really would like to encourage you to be creative in the way you want to design your life, or little things in your life, maybe like a hard drive or a desk or anything else. And even little things like that can make such a big difference in your everyday life. So I just wanted to share this aha moment that now I feel so great about searching files on my computer. And now I will pass it down to my friend Delvin.
Awesome. Thanks, Bernard. Hey, everybody. It's Delvin from Canada. Albert Einstein said, "It is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy and creative expression and knowledge." So I'm really grateful to Luby and John for awakening joyful creativity in me through the seed course, and all of my fellow tutors here. A story about one of my breakthroughs during the seed course. Well, I was working on my design and not feeling particularly inspired or motivated. And there's this moment I had where I was watching the video for the integration anchor point, when I suddenly realized that it was time. It was time to take all my notes and write up the design. And it was like this flash of inspired action. My mood was transformed instantly. I spread out all my notes and opened up a new space with 1 page per anchor point, and it all just flowed. I was assembling these keys from my notes, and I was having new realizations from playing with the design in this holistic way. And before I knew it, the design was almost done. So I remembered how inspiring doing the design itself can be. And this block that I'd struggled with, I want everything to be perfect. I want to be in the perfect mood, have my desk perfectly clean, have tons of time so I won't run out of time. And this experience I had kind of reminded me about how powerful it is just to write up the design. And it's maybe not so important to make sure all the conditions are perfect first, as doing the design itself can create the perfect conditions. So yeah, I guess my golden key is just to dive in. Bill Mollison said, "Once you begin, you'll know how to proceed." So I encourage anyone who's not complete just to jump into the process and see what happens. And I'll pass it over to my friend Barbara.
Thanks, Delphine. Yeah, just like Regina, I realized that my office space was already perfectly designed. So I thought, okay, workspace. My garden is my other workspace, my outdoor workspace. And my aha moment in this course was when I realized that my garden has to speak for itself, tell its own vision and explain its principles. Let's say the why about the garden, because the people that work in my garden, I always explain the what and the how. And yeah, I think the garden can speak for itself about the why. And yeah, it was quite a challenge to keep the design small for probably more people. And yeah, to lift up the vision anchor point and the principles anchor point as just the core of the design was actually just that, keeping it small. So yes, that was a nice insight. I'm going to pass it on to Helena.
Hi, everyone. I'm Helena. I'm talking to you from my greenhouse right now, and I'm doing some work here at the same time as I'm speaking. I would like to share just, I think it's two, yeah, kind of breakthroughs, and one is that I really understood how much I enjoyed short and quick designs, and I think that this tool is just so amazing to do that. And in a way, it's a little bit like Delvin talked about. It's just, yeah, just dive into it. And I felt I did one small design on a workshop that I was going to hold, and I did maybe it took 2 hours or something to prepare, and I really felt so, wow, yeah, I know I'm doing the right thing. So I encourage you to try, if it sticks, if it takes if it takes you time to work to completion. I think it's good to give you a boundary of time, and even if it won't be the perfect design, you can always come back to it and you can do another round, but it is really helpful. So that is one thing. And then I also really find this the way this course is done, and then that we are some tutors who maybe haven't worked together, and then we create a group, and how fantastic it is to have the principles there, to be able to use them together. So like trust the process, so obvious, like if you do really, all of you trust the process, it just works. And also the fantastic thing with feeling how many minds are, I don't remember the exact saying, but the cooperating hearts, and that many minds are better than one. So yeah, the principles, if you look them over, they will talk to you in the situation you are to meet. Yeah, that was me, and I am going to pass over to
me.
I'm not sure. Yeah, Luby, of course.
Yeah, thank you everyone. It's been great to hear the insights like people have had, and yeah, I've had lots of insights as well over the duration of the SEED course. One was recently with my quick design for doing regular artwork, and that's like the insight that's emerged from that is how the quick design can lead to quick implementation, and how quick design can be a really good way of regaining momentum in a previous design. So if we've already got a design that we did a while back but has somehow stalled, or we're not engaged with it, how doing a quick design can really just without needing to go back and read the previous design, but it can just surface those and reminders of those key insights that we had last time and just unblock the process. So it's a really good way to invigorate a previous design. I also had another insight about like reflecting on the process and how that doing that is really useful for when we're beginning designing and to realize what our patterns are as inner designers. And I kind of knew that already, but the additional insight was how the reflections on the process can be really valuable if we're already an experienced designer in helping us break patterns, so that we don't always just think this is the only way of designing and continue using the things that's worked for us. So that was an additional insight for those of us that are experienced as designing, that while it can be useful to go back and do the same thing again because we know it worked, maybe there's shortcuts and other ways of doing things. And then the third thing I'd like to share is about when I was hearing all of you, or not all of you, but hearing many of you sharing your designs on the group, the last group call, and how there was like when we were asking people to put in the chat like a phrase or something that stood out, and several times there was just like one phrase that loads of people would put, and it was just like, I think maybe in each design there's like one phrase that is like the golden phrase, or that sums it all up, and that really juicy idea in there that really resonates with people. So yeah, those were some of my insights, and it's been great to hear the Seed tutor team, and I'm just really grateful that that these people have been holding space for you all in your designs and sharing their experience with using the design web and their designs, and yeah, really grateful for that. So thank you all, and we'll keep you all tuned in for future reflections and designing.
Should we all unmute and send some good luck to the people who are still designing? Like a
yes,
whoosh.
Whoosh.
Let's do it. Whoosh. Whoosh, 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 whoosh.
Whoosh.